Hi, today we're going to tie up some flies for angling addicts, and what we're going to tie up is the fly that was on fire for catching bass. We were out sturgeon fishing this weekend, and while we're waiting for the bite for the sturgeon, we threw on some flies to catch some bass and hopefully some trout, but we were able to catch over 100 bass in less than 3 hours time. And the hot fly was a fairly bright fly as a streamer, and we're going to go ahead and start tying that. First of all, we're going to get a size 6 mustache hook, 2 times strong. This is just your standard streamer hook. We're going to get a 3.2 millimeter or half 1/8 inch hot orange bead. We're going to put on Cohen's carp dub. They sure love that rust color. A marabou tail, something to pick it out. Some bright orange thread to complement the head, and then of course your standard tools to finish the fly up. So we start off with a hook. Grab a bead. Go ahead and put the bead through the small end. So it's hanging on the top like this. Put it into the vise. Make sure it's nice and secure. I have a little help from a young angler. He's an angling addict as well, and we're teaching him young. So he was playing with my vise while I was preparing the materials. Okay, so nice and simple. We're going to start with the tail. So go ahead and wrap the thread on. Give it 8 to 10 good wraps. Trim off the tag end and go with the marabou. The marabou, we're putting in a rusty brown marabou. So we pull off a nice section. We want to be able to give it some flash, as well as about that much of a tail to attract those fish. This marabou really tends to come alive when it's in the water, gives that real fishy look. Now, in order to make the fly look segmented, I like to run it all the way to the top to keep the body uniform, so I cut it just behind the head. Do some quick wraps to the tip top, and then wrap it back for a nice segmented look. This is really a simple fly, and you can just put on this dubbing. There's a lot of times that people just run this dubbing on here to make it quick. I like to spin it a little bit, and how that works. You put it on here, let this hang just a little bit of tension. Wrap it on, secure that, let it hang, and you go ahead and insert some of this dubbing. Now this dubbing just really comes alive in the water, builds a good profile, has lots of flex in it, so that it drives those fish crazy. And I've got pictures, I don't know if you can believe it, but we got triple hookups on these bass. We had 2 flies on.
Double, you mean that?
We doubled the hookups, triple 3 times. So they would hit one fly, and as the other bass were competing, they would take the other fly. So it's never a bad thing to have two bass on one cast. It's kind of fun. So wrap it up. Oh, a little too tight. That's all right. I can grab the end of that. I should have been paying attention, not talking. So we'll wrap this up to the head. See if we grab that in time. And just wrap this forward. Nice uniform. Give it some good body. All the way up to the head. Alright, we'll wrap this off, tighten it up, and trim the excess. Cut that off. Give it a few more wraps, do a whip finish on it. And since it's behind a bead, I like to do a few whip finishes. I don't put the head cement on. We caught over 100 fish on the same single fly. We just had to sharpen the hook every once in a while. So when it's behind a bead, that's all it takes. That fly right there, what we do is I like to then brush it out. And it's going to give it that extra movement in the water. It's going to look like it's swimming along there. You can also pick this out with a needle. I just find that this is faster. And I think it builds a nice profile. So that's all you need to drive the bass wild. And by the way, this fly is a killer fly for Pyramid Lake, for big Lahontan cutthroat. So I always make sure that when I'm going after Lahantans that this is in my fly box, but they love this bright head. And that'll wrap it up for Angling Addicts for this version of Fly Tying Weekly.